Ever grab a quick bite and think, this is just food, right? Think again. What if I told you that a huge chunk of what we eat isn't really food at all, but rather industrially engineered substances designed to keep us coming back for more, often at the expense of our health? Hi everybody, and welcome back to another Jackson Talks. If this is your first time here, please check out my other videos. For this talk, we will be diving deep into the world of ultra-processed foods and uncovering the very real, very alarming impact they're having on our bodies. What are ultra-processed foods? So what exactly are we talking about when we say ultra-processed foods? There is a great book called Ultra-Processed People by Dr. Chris Van Tulleken that really explores this subject. I would recommend, if you are interested, that you pick up a copy. So when we talk about ultra-processed foods, we are not talking about a little bit of processing, like chopping vegetables or pasteurizing milk. The most widely accepted definition comes from the NOVA classification system, which says formulations of food substances, often modified by industrial processes and containing additives that are rarely used in home cooking. These foods are typically ready to consume, hyper-palatable, and designed to be profitable due to their low cost and long shelf life. So if you think about it, we are talking about ingredients you'd rarely, if ever, find in your home kitchen. Things like high fructose corn syrup, hydrogenated oils, artificial flavors, emulsifiers, and a host of preservatives. These aren't just for taste. These foods are designed to be highly profitable, convenient, and incredibly palatable, making them hard to resist. We're talking about mass-produced breads, breakfast cereals, most packaged snacks, fizzy drinks, ready meals, even some plant-based alternatives you might think are healthy. This is not a new phenomenon, but the issue is the sheer scale of ultra-processed food consumption that makes up a massive part of modern diet. While artificial food additives have been around for over a century, the widespread industrialization of our food supply really took off in the mid-20th century, accelerating rapidly in the last few decades. 1950s to 1970s, the rise of convenience foods. As more women entered the workforce, the demand for quick and easy meals skyrocketed. Think frozen dinners, instant mixes, and sugary cereals. At this point, the health impacts were less clear, but the groundwork for an ultra-processed food-dominated diet was being laid. Moving into the 1980s to 1990s, globalization and aggressive marketing, ultra-processed food became a staple in many Western diets, and their marketing spread globally. We started seeing the early signs of rising obesity rates and type 2 diabetes, though the direct link to ultra-processed food wasn't always immediately recognized by the public. Early 2000s, the scientific community starts taking notice. Researchers began to connect the dots between high ultra-processed food consumption and the range of adverse health outcomes being observed. Early studies pointed towards links with obesity and metabolic syndrome. Past decade, 2015 to the present, the alarm bells are ringing louder than ever. We're now seeing a surge in robust scientific evidence. Studies involving millions of participants are consistently showing convincing and highly suggestive evidence of severe health consequences. Did you know that over 60% of daily calories in Americans now come from ultra-processed food? This isn't just a dietary preference. It's a systemic shift with profound health implications that we are now undeniably observing. So, what are these alarming health impacts? The research is clear. Diets high in ultra-processed foods are consistently linked to a shocking array of adverse health outcomes. Obesity and weight gain. Ultra-processed foods are often calorie-dense, high in unhealthy fats, sugar, and salt, but low in fiber and essential nutrients. They're designed to be hyper-palatable, making us overconsume without feeling satisfied. Studies have shown people on ultra-processed food diets eat significantly more calories and gain more weight in a short period. Cardiometabolic diseases. This is a big one. There's convincing evidence that high ultra-processed food intake significantly increases the risk of cardiovascular disease, heart disease-related mortality, and type 2 diabetes. The combination of high sugar, unhealthy fats, and lack of fiber plays a huge role here. If you have diabetes or are at risk of developing the disease, you should be aware of how ultra-processed foods can affect your blood sugar levels. As we mentioned earlier, ultra-processed foods are often high in refined carbohydrates and added sugars. Gut health disruptions. Our gut microbiome is crucial for overall health. Ultra-processed foods, lacking in fiber and often containing emulsifiers and artificial sweeteners, can negatively alter the balance of gut bacteria. When you consume these foods, they quickly break down into glucose, which is a primary source of energy for your body. glucose then enters your bloodstream and causes your blood sugar levels to rise. Excessive amounts of glucose can lead to insulin intolerance. This can lead to inflammation issues, which can cause a compromised gut barrier function. This can have ripple effects throughout the body. Increased risk of certain cancers. Emerging evidence suggests a link between high ultra-processed food intake and an increased risk of certain cancers, including colorectal cancer. While more research is ongoing, the inflammatory and pro-oxidative properties of some ultra-processed food ingredients are a real concern. All-cause mortality, perhaps the most sobering statistic. Studies show a direct association between greater ultra-processed food exposure and a higher risk of early death from any cause. This isn't just about one disease. It's about a fundamental compromise of overall health and longevity. These aren't isolated findings. An umbrella review of meta-analysis, covering over 10 million participants, found direct associations between ultra-processed food exposure, linking it to 32 damaging health parameters across mortality, cancer, and mental, respiratory, cardiovascular, gastrointestinal, and metabolic health outcomes. So, why are these foods so detrimental? It's not just the individual ingredients. It's the synergy of them and the way they're processed. Nutrient stripping, the extensive processing of the ingredients, often removes beneficial nutrients, vitamins, and minerals. Additives galore. Beyond taste and preservation, additives like emulsifiers can directly impact our gut lining. Hyper-palatability. They are engineered to bypass our natural satiety signals, making us eat more than we need, eat faster, and desire them in an addictive manner. Low fiber. This is critical. Fiber is essential for gut health and helps us feel full. Ultra-processed foods are notoriously low in fiber as it is removed during the processing. The good news is, while the problem is widespread, we can make changes. Read labels. This is your superpower. Look for long lists of ingredients you don't recognize or wouldn't use in your own kitchen. The fewer ingredients and the more recognizable they are, the better. Focus on whole foods. Prioritize fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, and healthy proteins. These are naturally nutrient-dense and unprocessed. Cook more at home. Even simple meals cooked from scratch give you control over ingredients. Be mindful of healthy marketing. Don't fall for natural, light, or fortified claims on packaged goods. Always check the ingredients list. Be an advocate for change. Support policies that promote healthier food environments and educate others about the dangers of ultra-processed foods. The rise of ultra-processed foods marks a significant shift in our diet. Are you eating yourself sick? As you can see, eating too many ultra-processed foods can be dangerous for your health. That's why it's important to read food labels carefully and avoid foods with long ingredient lists. If you want to lose weight, feel healthier, and have more energy, consider cutting back on ultra-processed foods and replacing them with whole, unprocessed alternatives. We know it can be tough to change your diet, but it's definitely worth it for your health. But by understanding what ultra-processed foods are, recognizing their impact, and making conscious choices, we can reclaim our health and build a future where real food, not industrial inventions, nourishes our bodies. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like, share it with family and friends. Don't forget to subscribe for more content on health and nutrition. So let me know in the comments below, what are your biggest takeaways about ultra-processed foods and how are you trying to reduce them in your diet?